our reception desk the annual report and a set of motion papers with 2 different colors. You should also receive the lucky draw tickets, which is only provided to the on-time participant. Anyone who does not have any of these, please raise your hand and our staff will assist you. Please note that for those who have already submitted your paper proxy or proxy online, you will not receive any motion paper. The motion papers will be used for Agenda 2 and 3. You should have 2 motion papers in different colors. We'll collect the motion papers after the corresponding agenda. For those members who are also holding a proxy form, please make sure you have received the equivalent amount of motion papers from your reception desk. If you're holding more than 5 proxies in your hand, our staff will give you a white paper to register the total numbers of proxies instead of giving you the exact amount of motion papers. We hope it will be easier for you to manage. We target the meeting to end at 5:30 p.m. To show our gratitude, we have also prepared a gift for the first 50 members who turned up on time today. You should have already received the gift.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. At the reception desk. If you did not, kindly contact our staff after the meeting. Apart from the gift, we have also prepared a special lucky draw. We'll collect the lucky draw ticket later, and the result will be announced during the annual dinner tonight. If you're not joining us tonight, don't worry, we'll inform you to collect a gift if you're the lucky one at the office later. Now I'll leave the panel to Ken to start the meeting.
Dear members, welcome to the 2023 Annual General Meeting of the FAU. I shall preside at this Annual General Meeting as Chairman of the Union. Let me introduce our Executive Committee first. I'm Ken, Chairman of FAU. And we have Brenda, our Internal Vice Chairman. We have Grace, our External Vice Chairman. Ivy, Honorary Treasurer. And Tiki, our Honorary Secretary. We also have Kenneth, our Executive Committee, and also Lily, our Executive Committee. FAU rules say that a quorum of at least 15 members is needed for this meeting. There are now 115 members in total, including proxy. I declare that the Annual General Meeting of the Cathay Pacific Airway Flight Attendants Union for 2023 be commenced at 3:04. We will now stop accepting proxy for the meeting now at 3:04 as well. We will stop accepting distributing the ticket for the lucky draw as well. With the consent of the floor, the notice of the meeting will be taken as read. Now we shall proceed with the agenda. Thank you.
Agenda 1, to adopt the agenda of this IGM. Agenda 1, to adopt the agenda of this AGM. Agenda 2, to approve the minutes of AGM dated 27th of May 2022. Agenda 3, to approve the minutes of AGM dated 6th of December 2022. Agenda 4, to receive the auditor financial report for the previous financial year. Agenda 5, to receive the progress report from EXCO. Agenda 6, updates from Hong Kong Cabin Crew Federation. Agenda 7, to update the progress of the election of Executive Committee for the term 2023 to 2025. Agenda 8, any other business. Please note that we cannot add any new agenda item at this stage, as the agenda has already been sent to all members. We can only allow the removal of any agenda items by voting with the members present. Do any members object to this agenda? If there is any objection, we will need to vote by show of hands. So there is no objection. Now we'll go for Agenda 2. Agenda 2, to approve the minutes of AGM 2020. To approve the minutes of AGM dated 27th May 2022. Members can read the previous minutes of AGM 2022 on the annual report or on the FAU website. If members find any discrepancy in the minutes of AGM dated 27th May 2022, of which it did not accurately reflect what had been discussed in the meeting, Members should notify FAU and will cross-check and make amendments where necessary. Members are advised not to merely vote against without raising their concerns or opinions, or if they did not attend the AGM on 27th May of 2022. Is there any question regarding the minutes? If there is no question, now I propose the following motion. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution to approve the minutes of AGM dated 27th May 2022. Will any member please second the motion? May I have your name, please? Kelvin. Kelvin, thank you. Thank you, Kelvin. Now I'll put the motion to the floor. Motion 1, to consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution to approve the minutes of AGM dated 27th May 2022. Now please fill in the motion 1 bullet form, which is yellow in color. Our staff will collect the form now. Results will be announced at the annual dinner tonight.
You have to be here.
Do all members have already viewed the motion paper? If yes, now we'll proceed to Agenda 3. Agenda 3, to approve the minutes of EGM dated on the 6th of December 2022. Members can read the previous minutes of EGM 2022 on the annual report or on the FAU website. If members find any discrepancy in the minutes of EGM dated on the 6th December and 22, of which it did not correctly reflect what had been discussed in the meeting, members should notify FAU and will cross-check and make amendments when necessary. Members are advised not to merely vote against without raising their concerns or opinions, or if they did not attend the EGM on the 6th December 2022. Is there any questions regarding the minutes? If there is no question regarding the minutes, I will now propose the following motion. To consider and thought fit, pass the following resolution to approve the minutes of EGM data on the 6th of December 2022. Will any member please second the motion? Thank you, Arthur. I'll now put the motion to the floor. Motion 2, to consider and thought fit pass the following resolution to approve the minutes of EM data on the 6th of December 2022. Now please fill in the motion 2 bullet form, which is in pink in color. Our staff will collect the form now. The result will be announced at the annual dinner tonight as well. Have all members already the motion paper? If yes, we will now proceed to the next agenda item. Agenda 4, to receive the audited financial report for the previous financial year. I will introduce the financial report for us.
Hi everyone, I'm Ivy. So for the financial years of 2022 and to 2023, FAU has a deficit of $900,000. The main reason why was because around $8,200 $8,200,000 were spent on 2 legal court cases. One of them was the 2019, the unreasonable dismissal. Eventually, the 3 plaintiffs, they withdraw or discontinue the proceeding, and therefore the FAU will bear the corresponding legal costs. And the other one was the 4 claimants for the ex gratia payment in 2017. And that case went to the High Court, and eventually the 4 claimants, they decided to discontinue, and therefore FAU also responsible for the legal costs as well. These are the 2 main reasons why there is such a big financial losses during the past years. And the other member welfare expenses, such as the group life insurance coverage, or some gift for retirees, Chinese New Year red packets, etc., the gift for our members, and the rental of the office during the past years. So these are the costs that mostly we spend in the financial years of 2022 to 2023. For further details, you can refer to the financial reports of the last few pages of the annual report. So, is there any questions about our financial reports? If there is, you are welcome to ask. So if not, can I?
Do any members have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes. Would you please help to get the mic to London? Sylvia. Sylvia.
Yes, and may I ask, because you mentioned about the legal fee of 2 cases, may I ask about the details of the second case, because I don't understand what's that.
The second case, you mean the ex gratia payment, right? Ex gratia payment?
Or the unreasonable dismissal.
Is it because you have mentioned about high court?
High court one is ex gratia payment.
Second case, that's the second.
Hold on, just 1 minute. Because actually it happened in 2017. There were 4 ISM that who retired in the later end of the year. So their ex gratia payment is not exactly the same as the other colleagues. So therefore, they have the disagreement of the payment. Then they appeal to the High Court why the company are paying them the different amount, because they retire earlier within the year. So that was the cause of the case. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Basically, FAU lost more money than what they would have got. Yeah. That's all. So sad. No, nothing.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. Thank you.
Yeah, and they gave up in the middle after going so.
But that is the responsible for FAU to do it, because we did held the EGM. We did put it into the motion. By that time, the members, proxy, or who attended the EGM, they agreed to proceed that.
FAU did the right thing, but and you all said that they gave up before the case, right? So,
yeah.
yeah.
They lost.
They lost.
Eventually
they lost.
They lost.
It was the judgment by the High Court. Yeah,
Okay.
they lost.
They lost, then at least they tried.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what I understood.
Do you have any more questions? If there is no more question, we'll proceed to the next agenda item. Agenda 5, to receive the progress report from Expo. Today we'll have 9 topics to talk about. First, we'll have Ken to talk about the new in-flight service.
Thank you. So firstly, talk about the MWIS. I think the major issue for the MWIS is the manpower, and start from that there lead to other concerns. Our team have already tried in different ways to emphasize the importance of the manpower, and we also have to suggest that to provide a kind of flexible crew complement depends on the loading. So if almost full load, then there should be at least the same crew complement, same as the pre-COVID level. And then, like if it's really like low during COVID time, then maybe you can see if it's reasonable to have a kind of an interim complement or something like that. However, there's no response for the ISD, and they just say they noted that until now there's no change at all. Apart from the manpower, we also have found that NWIS creates a lot of confusion, especially in the service flow and also the cross-cabin deployment. For the cross-cabin deployment, the original version of the document on the table is using the dot and also livid brand for the to see if the duty of the BC3, do they need to have the cross-cabin deployment or not. We've already stated that it's very confusing. It's better to use tick or cross to represent that the duty that the BC3 have to take. And also for the statement of SECM, under SECM description, it may create a lot of confusion, and that may lead to maybe some of the misunderstanding among the crew. So we already suggest that you have to be more clear on under what situation that SECM have the description to have different deployment apart from the original table. So after that, ISD have already changed and modified to release a new and kind of more clear document representing the BC3 cross-cabin deployment. So we wish that is to kind of solve some of the confusion among the crew. For the service flow, there's one is about the imbalanced service flow, and I think there's a very significant change on the some of the service flow diagram that on EY, one aisle maybe have 2 man card, including the galley person, and then another aisle with just 1 man card. So we tell ISD that according to the diagram, that is just doing the 2 man card, and then the other way is 1 man card. The pace will be different, and the galley person need to replenish by time to time. If it's really 2 man card, then the car door maybe leave it open for a long while, and it causes a kind of safety issue, and more issue will be created. But ISD replied that that's not what they expected. By their means is that they just want the galley person maybe try to assist the BC working in the cabin from time to time, not just stay in the galley doing the galley works. So I think our crew is very professional. We know what is the right time to assist, and we are always welcome to assist other crew. So the service flow diagram is what we can understand is during 2 man card and 1 man card. So it will create a confusion to the crew. And we asked to modify the service flow diagram accordingly as well. They just said they really understand the concerns, but until now they didn't change anything on the service flow diagram. So we wish there's the crew members will not have any more confusion. So we always want to try to let our members know that how to do the service better. And if you want to assist, it's always welcome to do so, but it's not really necessary to do the two-man car and one-man car in the inbound service flow. So these are some of the major concerns, and I wish that is all our crew have to know. So there's also a lot of minor concerns we have raised, but I will not illustrate one by one here. So if you have any question, you can ask now.
If you do not have any questions regarding your in-flight service, we will now move on to the next report. We will talk about the JCP. Lily will talk about it in detail. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lily. So your XL understand flight patterns directly affect crew members' rest and allowance, and we have been worried about the pairing since the start of the closed-loop patterns. And would those apply to crew members' normal roster in long term is also our concerns. So once closed-loop flying and quarantine restrictions were eased from September 2022, we noticed and reported the inhuman patterns such as first, 17 hours Sydney overnight, second, 18 hours same-day departure per, third, 24-hour European and US layover, and fourth, 24 hours, for example, 3-day Australia and Auckland flight, and fifth, as well as the Indian and Kathmandu turnaround flights. We request the day off required should be different based on the flight patterns. During the communication with ISD in September and October, we seek further clarifications on JCP and JCR, including the parameter input by the rostering team into the system for different destinations. However, despite the above communications, there seems to be no improvement in November and December's rosters. Since then, we have been requesting a written agreement on the guaranteed minimum layover period added to the system as mandatory guidelines that would be the easiest way to rectify the problem in JCP. However, ISD refused any written agreements, and they only add a set of PX crew for Boston and Madrid, 2 FX crew for Perth, and they only acknowledged there was room of improvement in distribution on duty hours and flight patterns. The union also requests to have no more Indian turnaround, or PX or FX must be provided if it is really a turnaround flight. However, there were amendments on both Delhi and Bombay flight, but sadly, Dhaka and Bangalore remain as turnaround patterns with FX only. We emphasize that these should be changed to layover as soon as possible. We will keep communicating with ISD in improving JCP and ensure sufficient rest for crew members. For JCP, if you have any questions.
If there is no questions regarding JCP, we will now move on to the next Next topic, there will be the JCR. Kenny will talk about it in detail.
Testing. Hello, I'm Kenneth. I'll talk about the JCR. About developed rostering is fundamental because roster will affect crew members' lifestyle and incomes. Okay, there have been increasing number of the flight after the ease of the travel restrictions. FAU initiated the discussion on the JCR related issues starting from September 2022. These include same-day arrival and departure patterns, both regional and rotational flights repeated in the same month and consecutive month, and also the unevenly flight distribution among the crew members. We also asked about the lifestyle preference request. The nights at home, the high-density option have to be based on the first-come, first-served basis. Talking about the big control, I think a lot of you tried the system already. We did receive a lot of the feedback that some crew got the flight without bidding, and some crew who bid the flight but could not get it. Okay, IC explained that the JCR takes all bid into consideration as whole and will optimize and fulfill as much as possible. So all the bids are based on the weight, fair share, rather than quota. However, there seems to be no significant improvement in November and December roster. We reiterate the request to ensure a more even distributed roster in the JCR setting. Regrettably, there is no positive response until FAU EGM and 2 impromptu meetings in December. The company finally willing to fix the issue of same-day arrival and departure pattern, and will be distributing the flight duty hours and pattern more evenly in the future. So we thank you for all the members sent in your roster, and so that we can summarize more issues and rectify it and report to the company to fix it. From January to April, actually we received quite a lot of the roster. There are improvements, but the major problem still exists. We are working on that and also notice some risky packed roster appear on some of the roster. So all these concerns are already being followed and followed up with ISD, and ISD will continuously the further improvement I expect in the future. We also will pass the information to the next EXCO team. So up to now, is there any question about the JCR?
I just have one question. I heard a lot of crew have this problem, copy and paste. When you receive your roster, like 2 or 3 consecutive months, you have the same pattern. Like me, I have Manchester overnight, 2 consecutive months. While my friend, she's got while some of my juniors, she's got 6 days pattern JFK every month. It looks like they are only doing copying and pasting. They can't do anything more than this. So I just wonder whether there's any way they can avoid this kind of roster.
Actually, we already raised up this issue to companies, and then they said they noted, and they said the system, the concept is like based on like what I said is based on the weight fair shares. But because of it, you raised up the issue because this kind of flight, all the Europe flight, North American flight, they are the rotational flight. it shouldn't be rostered every single month because they have to be evenly distributed to all crew members in the crew communities. So, they said when the JCR system, we start using it, they have to input a lot of data and then the program inside. And then they will finalize and then they will generate best pattern. And then they will automatically rostering to all of the crew members. So, but we find out there's some bugs in the JCR and the JCR system.
COVID virus has gone into the system.
So we talked to the companies, and then they said because they have to manually input some program to let the system to generate and then to roster. So they still under the improvement progressing. So probably you have to wait for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know.
Yes?
So hopefully not. Because whenever we have the town meeting with the companies, we will raise up the issue. See, we will print out your roster. Some of you consented your roster to us. We just showed to the company. You see, this is the evidence that some people they got the back-to-back New York flight or back-to-back Europe flight. So actually they noticed that the system had the bugs. But our brilliant IT department, they are trying their best to fixing this problem with no guaranteed day for us. So we continuously pass the message to the company and looking into this issue because we need more transparency and more evenly distribution roster to the crew committee, beneficial to all the crew members is our ultimate goal.
Thank you, Kenneth. First of all, thank you FAU so much because you all are doing your best. We know that you all are also crew and experiencing the same issues with your own rosters. You all are responding to us. So first on JCR, I've heard that many airlines are using it successfully and it's brilliant. So basically, the information that the IT, which you very clearly pointed out, needs to work on these things and look into it. So you all have done your part and we just need to wait. But another thing is, they initially said that certain frequencies were not daily. So for example, take Paris. It's a daily flight now. So there's no cause for having a 4-day pattern still. So they're just doing this, which is wrong. I can understand, I fully respect when a flight has 1 day and the next one is 6 days later, they can't keep you so many days. But right now, most of the flights are online daily. The frequency has actually gone on to daily ops, or some days even 2. So they should not be doing the 4-day patterns for Paris. And of course, as I did get a copy and paste with the several 4-day Paris as well. And it just so happens when it's a bad one, you get more often of the copy and paste. If it's a good one, that roster may not be sent to you. So that's how things work. Different strokes for different folks, and it's not working for some, which they need to fine tune. The IT, which you pointed out. So I know y'all are taking action. So we just need to be stronger, everyone, and we can't wait for, I don't know whether you're going to say 2, 3, 4 minutes, hours or years, but it's, decades. So if it's going to be 4, 5 years, we need to fight for beyond 60 years to enjoy a good roster. Thank you.
So firstly, I want to explain a bit more about for the day patterns. So now we talk about that you always have the repeater patterns, and because some of you may realize for the bidding system, although you cannot choose for the Europe and also North American flights, but if you place a bid according to the hours only, not specifically for the port, then you can still bid for those long-haul flights. So there's a kind of a bug, but then it will create a crash in between rotational duties and also the bidding. So if a lot of crew that they bid for longer layover flights, then those who haven't bid will get the shorter layover flights by rotational duties. So that is what we heard about the reason behind. And so it's not ideal because that should be fair that you have a longer layover, although you bid, but still, like the regular patterns should not be that short. That's one concern. So there's a lot of concern. They actually ask what is the first priority we want to have, including the layover length, including the repeated patterns, including a copy and paste roster, and more. So we already emphasized if the layover or the layover flights is not enough, then the problem would be less because all the crew will kind of a bit more fair.
Less quota to assign.
Yeah, and because layover time, especially in US, North American flights, is very fluctuating. Some of the patterns maybe 3 days, 4 days, but some of them have 7 days. So it's why don't just align and try to make a balance to make all the layover to maybe a 5 days patterns, something like that. That's what we have tried to make it more fair to all the crew and want to solve the issue. That's what we have done. So for the Paris you talk about, or some other group flight, it seems to have a daily flights. We also mentioned that because we did do the research and then search for the whole month patterns, we have a document list all the flights. We do it manually, and we find out that some of the Europe, although it's daily, but over in sudden, maybe 1 week is only 5 flights or 4 flights. So it's not really that stable, and it's still maybe sometimes there's a canceling flights. That's why it's very difficult. They say it's very difficult to really make it all aligned to the 5 days patterns. Also, hotel is also another issue because hotel, do they have availability? Do they, when we sign the contract, we ask for that amount of the room reserved for us. But now, if we change to a longer pattern, do they have enough for us? But for the hotel issue, we emphasize that it's their problem. It's not our problem. They should solve it. They should find another hotel, or if the current hotel could not provide enough hotel room, then they should find another hotel for reserve. So, yes, current for these few months, IC start to give us some of the information of some potentially hotels maybe it will be later used or reserved for some other use. So we will keep monitoring on that, and we wish that the pattern will become longer and is fairly distributed among the crew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something about Canada says that the flights, the rosters are all how do you call it? Alternately give it to you. And just to say my own roster, I have not been rostered North American flight since January till now.
Yeah, the same.
My flights are all London, Amsterdam, Paris. London, Amsterdam, Paris. So I mean, I don't mind doing London, Amsterdam, Paris, but if it says it's rotational, then this is not fair.
It's the same.
It rotates only with that same
The
person.
same pattern.
Yeah.
The same.
So it's kind of like our name is already there, and you only do this much.
Like you and me, we'll rotate with each other.
Just like I mentioned, I think it's because there's a partnership between bidding and also the application. So the flight is over there.
I do bid also, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I bid as well. I didn't get it.
I guess I've been blacklisted by company, I guess.
I wish I'm not.
There's already clarity.
Yes.
There's already clarity.
And I wonder what happened to the swap vote the next week.
Is there any more questions?
But Paris is daily, so they can't say now that oh there are no flights and they are finished. Alfred, thank you.
She said not like other port, the Paris already daily flight, so should give us the proper 5 days pattern instead of the
So
rotation.
some you were right that they don't have daily, but Paris has.
I think right now they're sticking to the it's legal. Because we
Yeah,
talk to a
that's
lot of
right.
BCs
Yeah.
or a lot of our
Daily
kids.
or not is just
All they
maybe
turn
one
around
of
and
the
say is-
one of the reasons to see if can make it like longer pattern or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so still we are looking for.
I'm very sorry to disturb. I totally understand all your point. As you say, daily already, why there is only 28 hour days. That's from the point of crew perspective that we don't have enough rest to recharge for the
Exactly,
next
exactly.
full flight. Of course, company's point of view is they are fulfilling the CAD requirement. Because from CAD requirement to premium airline, we always reiterated that there is a buffer. Budget airline is using CAD requirement as well. I do agree with you. That's why they always say as their reason is that their system can only do kind of computerized with all the CAD requirement. Yeah, I don't know if that they have to pay extra for that system to make it more fair or whatsoever. But I just want to tell you that what you guys are having in your mind, we do bring it up every time.
Thank you.
We do check the
that's
roster
why
for the flight.
Yeah.
Like, we do notice that Paris is daily already. Why is still 4 days? We don't like that, because we are having all the flows and we don't have enough like rest or whatsoever. By all means, all the reason or slash excuses is legal, but it's really far away from human. So that's just, I'm sorry to grab the mic or cut whoever is speaking, but I just can't help but to tell you guys we do feel the same and we do bring it up during the meeting. That's all I want to say. Sorry, go on.
Thank you.
May I ask, is there any updates or progress that the company have told you about? It's like when will they be extended pattern, or when will they be change the hotel? Is there any updates from them, or what is the next step they will update to you? Do you have any idea or information about that?
I think just at the very beginning, when we start to discuss about the JCP and JCR, we saw a lot of short patterns, and we asked that the direction of the company is going to make it permanent, that all the patterns is going to have a short pattern or not, or you will use the pre-COVID level, most of them is 5 days pattern or longer. And then they said if the direction is still like that, but the timing of to make it possible or not is really depends. So we really mentioned and we asked for the direction, and they said at that moment they said the direction is still on there. But of course, until now, a few months later, yeah, as you mentioned, that the Paris have daily, things have daily, and then still haven't changed yet. So we don't know the progress or exactly dates or exactly the criteria that how to make it become 5 days or longer, but we will monitor. Thank you.
Before we move on to the next topic, maybe I can add a little bit more. Because just now we mentioned about the rotational as well as the beating. Cathay Pacific is now the only company that's using JCR system but have the rotational duties. So all the other airlines who are using the JCP and JCR system, they don't have rotational duty. That's why it is something new for the Jefferson company to deal with as well. That's why they have a kind of crash, as Ken mentioned. Yeah. There's a member at the
Can you speak louder? We can't hear you, sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if after you have talked to the company about the standby duty for the crew, because like for me, for myself, I have been rostering a block of standby for almost every month in a year. So I was wondering if there is any like agreement or anything that still valid that for crew member who only have a certain days of standby in a year between the FAU and the company.
For the standby duty, if it's a true broad standby, there's a maximum amount. Every crew is 2 times per year. But for the one broad standby or even the shorter standby, 3 days or 5 days standby broad, there should be unlimited. It's also for long-term practice. So we also mentioned that a lot of crew really standby for every month for a long while already. While some of them maybe didn't have any standby. So some of the crew, if they bid for the lifestyle, they really don't have the standby broads. So then we just go to those who haven't bid for the lifestyle. They will just have to bid the standby broad. Maybe that could be one of the reasons, but that's not ideal. So I still reply that some of the shorter standby, maybe the 3 days and 5 days broad standby we used to have in 2019, and maybe we will use that. Will come back as well. So even there's a standby, maybe the disruption may that huge or is not that tough. And also for the standby, we also the standby call out. We try to say the soft rule of the short break. We try to emphasize that it's very needed. So we try to see, although the crew have the standby, we want to make you feel easier or feel better for them.
I have a question about standby call. About standby call, if I got called for a very short flight but delayed and my FTP is more than 9 hours, am I entitled to a short break?
According to the agreement, the short break is a soft route. So if you call them and then you ask for them, if it's possible, then they should give you. But to be honest, it's a soft rule that even in the agreement. But nowadays we can, I think last year it's really tough that most of the time they didn't get a short break. But for these few months, most of the time, even at the very beginning, they didn't have it. If the FTP is really over 9 hours, most of the time they can get it. So you should, anyway, you should try. If your FTP is really exceed 9 hours, you should let them know that voice complaint.
So I understand your point that because you said about delay. So actually on the agreement, it's actually stated if there is flight disruption causing the flight to be delayed and the FTP is longer than 9 hours, you should be given a short break. But as what Ken said, is a soft rule. So I heard from some crew members saying that when they call crew control, the crew control say that, oh, the agreement no longer exists. But this is not true. But this is what they say. They claim that this is what they got from ISD and asked us to clarify with ISD. But we want to let you know that actually on that agreement is in 2013, there is no expiry date. And ISD cannot just say the agreement is gone. So the agreement is still here, and you can tell crew control is still here. But if you encounter such, because I only heard in flight, no one ever writes into FAU. So if you encounter such situation, please tell crew control, email to ISD, and let us know.
Thank you.
I have heard about crew control tell us that the FTP over 9 hours is still there, as you mentioned. But another one is if the duty end after 11 p.m. Is that short break next day? Because some of them saying that yes, some of them saying that is no.
That one is another issue there. So Graham will say that if your duty is after midnight and the second day you have to take a short break. But if that you have the critical G, that will be another issue because you need to have the local night. If it's extended at midnight, that could not be a local night. So that one is maybe something you should be aware of that. But it's not necessary, or there's until now we do not have any black and white to say that there's such a break for the duty after midnight. So that is a loophole, but we have to monitor that and see how to get it better.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I just want to ask about that industrial agreement with the FAU, because before we have like so many criteria said like just now they mentioned about the FTP in more than 9 hours we should get a short break, and also like speed duty we should have another like day off after that. But it seems that like the swapping guidelines, you can see that after speed duty actually they just put 18 hours after speed duty. So I just want to ask whether the industrial agreement should be still there, right? Is the company still follow the agreement with the FAU? Because just now you say it's not exist, the agreement.
The one that still currently exists is the FTP over 9 hours tablet. I think it's no longer. But also we understand the issue that the split duty is very tough. All this duty should have a day off after that. We'll keep a lot of time.
Before the logbook, there's some like
Rostering practice.
Yeah.
It should be is the alignment with the agreement, but now no more. I can
That one is kind of that's a long time ago. So currently that one is just about the day off requirement for sport. I think before COVID, there's a difference between roster practice and also the swap requirement. So yeah, now because we always say that, and then for the last meeting, I also replied that currently on roster practice for the split duty, there's a G after that.
May I ask a question, please? This is the first time. No, sorry, I don't need it, thanks. Hi, I'm Rini. I just wanted to ask, it's my first time I'm attending the meeting, and I'm hearing a lot about these are the industrial agreements that we have with the company. Is there a place where we can go and read what the agreements are? Is it, because I genuinely don't know. So if I go onto the FAU page, can I find a link? These are the current agreements which are valid. Sorry, it's a stupid question, but I genuinely want to know.
Yeah, you can find all the agreement. Most of the agreement is under the year-end negotiation,
Okay.
but you have to first log in on the website version.
Ah,
Then you can find it. If you haven't logged in yet, then there's something you still cannot find it. So you just log in first on the website version, not on the mobile version. And then after that, you can find all the year-end negotiation documents.
Thank
and
you.
you can find
I was on it actually 2 days ago and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I'll look into
Try.
it. Thank you.
to the questions about the split duty, we'll get to you and double check for you. Because there were agreements that they have the expiry date, like in 2018, they signed over the minimum labor hours, but there were expiry dates. So those agreements expired on 2020, but some agreements there was no expiry date, so it depends. So also, there were agreements that were signed back then for flight pairings. So now, because there are no longer flight pairings because of the GCR system, that's why those agreements do not apply to the current situation. That's why they cannot say that the agreement no longer exists. It just may not be applicable. So it depends on the agreement. If there's more questions, shall we move on to the next?
Yes.
So the next one will be swap neutralization. Lily will talk about it.
For swap neutralization, we have to state that your EXCO disagreed with the swap neutralization due to its unfair approach. We have raised these concerns to ISD during our communications, and we proposed some possible ways to enhance the whole swapping system. For details on the concerns that we raised, you may refer to the progress report because there's more details on that. And by the time we are preparing progress report, the company, ISD, haven't announced the swap adjustment. And your EXCO has been addressing our concerns on MMFDH, which we are afraid that it will be changed by the company anytime. And we raised our concerns and addressed that to ISD during our previous meeting. And ISD states that they have no intention to change it now. So your EXCO insists that the basic monthly salary has to be protected at all costs. And also, we will continue to communicate with ISD regarding this matter. However, now we are still waiting for the updates from the company about the swap adjustment. Okay. Do you have any more? Do you have any questions on swap neutralization?
We are neutral on that.
Scott and Kelvin, just want to clarify one thing with you, is that you already checked with the company that the minimum flight duty hours is not related to the basic monthly salary. Doesn't mean if they change from 70 to 80, doesn't mean the monthly salary will change from like 10,000 to 11,000. Is that right?
Do any of you have any questions regarding swap neutralization or swap adjustment? If no, we'll move on to the next item. There will be the annual leave. Can we talk about the annual leave?
For the annual leave, and after COS strategy, there's a huge difference, which is don't have the credit hours anymore. And we think that the crew having annual leave should be having some payment that representing the annual leave as well. So we asked that credit hours should be given back, but ISD already refused to have any credit hours concept of that. So we try another approach is to prorata the minimum flight duty hours. For example, if like in January you have 28 days, when you get two weeks annual leave, the remaining 14 days, which is half months you need to operate, then your minimum flight duty hours for that month should be prorated to be 35 hours. After 35 hours, then you should get productivity pay. That's what we asked for. And then I still really noted.
Only noted.
But they didn't have any change there. However, they take this idea of prorated minimum flight duty hours on the downward payment adjustment that they just recently released about the swap that would to downward the payment. They say that for the month with annual leave, then your minimum flight duty hours will be prorated to protect that you are not getting downward payment so easily. However, for the productivity pay, they still refuse to get the prorata of this concept. And also, we also contact the Labor Department. We have a meeting before to see if any way or any possible to make the prorata minimum flight duty hours to become really something that is legally should do that. However, because as we mentioned before, the monthly basic salary has no direct relation between with the minimum flight duty hours. It's a separate concept. The minimum flight duty hours only related to the productivity pay. So that's why it's very difficult at this moment to ask legally to prorata the minimum flight duty hours. But we will still try to see if any other way we will discuss on that. So we wish that our productivity is really reflected with the according salary. And then, is there any question on the annual leave issue?
This is Kelly again. I have a question about the annual leave agreement with the company. I was wondering if the RVU have ever tried to look for any legal advice from any law firm or any other things about the contract that we signed about the annual leave, because as you mentioned, annual leave should be credited. We should have a cover on our annual leave. However, if the crew who works their annual leave in a month, like what you say, 2 weeks, and the company even prorata the working hours up to 35, that is very unfair to us. So I was wondering if after you have ever tried to seek for any legal advice about that. Thank you.
For the legal advice, we used to have a legal consultant, but he is really busy nowadays. So we try to contact, but book a time, but because he is really busy, so end up we need to change and date. So until now, we haven't have a really legal consult at this moment, but we're still trying to contact, or maybe we will see if any way to find another legal consultant as well. So for the talking about the working hours, because it's really on the contract is the description about the monthly basic salary. There's just saying that is the basic salary, but didn't cover about what is our responsibility in related to the salary. So that's why for the Labor Department's advice or their feel is that because there's no any hours related to the salary, then it's very difficult to say that we have to provide them because of the annual leave.
I mean, I know the inside so many details what you say now, but for crew, I think for FAU we may focus on the benefit or the crew's welfare because annual leave is everybody have annual leave in the company. However, only for crew, we really didn't get any credit or didn't get any pay during the annual leave. So it's, I think not on the salaries about the productivity pays or whatever, but we can look in, from the other angle to look in this problem to discuss with the company instead of only drawing into the productivity pay related to the annual leave. So I'm not pushing you to I hope you understand. Yeah.
Thank you, and we totally understand your concern because I just had my annual leave and the roster means 70 hours exactly on the month. And I totally understand that means my annual leave is just 3 days, right? And actually we raised this concern to the company and also we have met Labor Department for advice too. I think we have met Labor Department for twice? Yeah, we went to their office as well. And actually we raised the concern to them and asked them how is it like to legally count our annual leave, and they actually advised us to talk to the company, like we didn't, right? And they said because our, our industry, aviation industry, the counting of our annual leave is different from their normal office counting. And the way company count annual leave, as long as it includes the labor holiday, I think it's around 11 days or every year. Yeah, and then that will be legal. And then because we have at least 21 days, something like that, then they have to count another method to count the annual leave. So actually, it is legal for company to assign the duty to us like that. So that's why they advised us to talk to the company.
So to add more information, the annual leave is like for office people, their work is because their monthly salary already include their annual leave, right? Because they won't get paid less because they have annual leave, but we get paid less when we have annual leave. So that's the main difference. But then the calculation for annual leave would be the average daily rate over your past 12 months. And then you have to do all the calculations, it's very complicated, but we can get to the formula later. So if actually we can calculate by ourselves, and because for us the average daily rate can be different depending on when we have the annual leave, right? Maybe for Brenda, she has annual leave this month, and for the past 12 months she has been working so hard, and then she has a high monthly productivity pay. So her daily rate will be higher, right? Her daily rate will be higher than the daily rate only using the basic monthly salary. Do you see what I mean? So in this case, they may have to pay you more. Yeah, so it depends on your productivity over the past 12 months as well. But it's all theoretically, because you have to calculate yourself and then consult the labor department. So if you believe that you are getting paid less because of the difference in the daily rate, you can file a case in LD, or you can file a case in LD, and then they will arrange a tri-party meeting for you with the company to figure this out. So it depends on individuals legally speaking. But of course, from the FAU stand, everyone should get the credit hours. Or you get the pro rata MMFDA, it will be much easier to address the unfairness for everyone.
Nice meeting. Because from my understanding, some of the crew who resigned it, and the company is asking pay back the annual leave pay difference. Like, so I believe the company know the calculating that, if they can deduct from the crew, why can't they calculate to pay for the crew? This is a point that I want the FAU to raise to the company.
So we did raise the same thing, and actually for the annual leave you have to pay back when you leave is a little bit different. So from the LD perspective, you earn the annual leave after you work for the companies for some time. So I only get annual leave when I work for a year. I earn certain days, certain number of days. So if I'm not working the whole year this year and I'm leaving now, I'm not entitled for the annual leave in the later part. But I think the rate that the companies is using would be your daily rate in that month to calculate the remaining annual leave. It's a bit different. So yeah, if you don't want to file a case in LD, but after your calculation you're in doubt, you can ask TBS as well. So it's two cases to calculate the difference. So it's different. It's very complicated, but yeah, it's different.
I understand what she means, and I understand what you said about because it's like 24 days for us. It's like 2 days each month. If you spend 7 days in January and you resign in March, then you have to pay back 3 days for them. It should be like this. For the annual leave, it's like this. But I have another suggestion. In the recent contract we have, how can we, to be fairly get the pay for annual leave? It's just the only one way is we get 1 month, whole month annual leave is 24 days in 1 month, and you have to pay. They have to pay you the 70 hours. Then they cannot roster you 70 hours. This is the only way for now.
Thank you for your suggestion. Maybe I just want to elaborate a bit more about the annual leave entitlement, that part. Because actually for annual leave, the entitlement is you work the whole year, and the entitlement you can use it for next year, it's not for current year. So, but our practice is we can have our annual leave first on this year, even you haven't finished your year of the service yet. So that's the difference. That's why we have to pay back if we have the annual leave in the early of the year. And then in the middle of the year, then we decide that we have to pay back all the payment. That's why.
One more thing if you want to know about the calculation. Talking about the statutory annual leave, the number of annual leave you are entitled according to the Labor Department is different from the entitled annual leave assigned by the company. So maybe let's say after you only joined the company for 1 year, so the LD entitlement will be 7 days only, but the company give you 21 days, right? So the remaining 14 days of calculation are different as well. Yeah, just for your information. It's written on COS 2012.
But just in addition to say, we suggest to the company the annual leave should be kind of prorated, and actually LSD answer us they are looking into it. They are thinking about that. Yeah. That is the latest update.
If there is no more questions, yeah.
It's not about the annual leave, it's about the sick leave. I'm not very good with the sick leave, the way they calculate it. But I heard it from another crew that if you report sick, less than 4 days, for instance 2 or 3 days, I just told that they will deduct from your, not here.
Okay, this is Laura.
Just one question. It's like the annual leave sick leave. I'm just told from the junior crew that if you report sick for 2 days, they will deduct from your basic salary. I'm not quite sure whether it's really true or not. If you report sick for more than 4 days, it will be secured by the labor law. Can you clarify which is the correct one? Thank you.
So for the sick leave, there's two entitlements. One is called, usually we call it like CX pool of the sick leave entitlement. And then another one is the under labor law entitlement as well. So both of them, the pool maximum is 120 days, but the difference is the CX pool, when you join CX, you got 120 days already. And then for the labor department background, at the very beginning, you only have 0 days, and you just entitle more and more days once you have the service. So then, if you still have the CX pool, entitlement the CX pool, then even you report less than 4 days, you can still have the salary, they will not deduct. But if you already used up all the 120 days, then it will deduct. Because under labor law, then the sick leave payment that you entitle is only under the situation that is a continuous sick leave that more than 4 days. And then you will get 4/5 of your daily wage on your sick leave. So that's why maybe some of the crew, even they report sick only 1 day, they will deduct the salary. Maybe the other crew, they still report sick for 2 days, 3 days, but they did not deduct for the salary. That may be the reason, because they have difference in their own CX pool entitlement.
Oh, that's why some of the crew, they said they are going to have more than 4 days sick leave in order to get the salary back. I don't know.
It's more secure, but it may not 100% say that if you report less than 4 days, then it will deduct. It will depend on your own sick leave record.
Yeah, of course, I don't know any of the sick leave. That's rude. No idea. Because we don't report sick leave.
Yeah, the labor department sick leave kicks in when you finished your 120 days with cabinet. That time the 4 days like not now. Now only if you say 1 day they won't cut your pay.
That's why I don't lose 2 days very sick.
You won't lose any money.
That's why.
That's because they have misunderstood the concept. All they want to show is 120 days. So 120 days
Sorry, we are having technical problem here. Please stay with us, okay, we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Not a mouse, right?
Okay, we can continue. Do any of you have any more questions on the annual leave? If no, we'll have Ken to talk about ground training duties.
So the ground training duty is more or less the same, similar as annual leave. We don't have credit hours. So we also mentioned that we need to have some credit hours to reflect the productivity, because we really have to use our time, go for the training. And so also because credit hour always refills, and we also say we use as for the pro rata minimum flight duty hours for that. So that's currently the approach we have made. So and then for the labor department, their advice is their point of view is that because for the training, there's no really some calculation on how the training salary should be calculated. So they don't have any advice on that. So they ask us to go back to company as well, which we have already did for so many months.
You need a new labor department.
Is there any question on that?
I'd like to just ask, because we are paid half now on ground duties, so do we need to do only half the work? I would honestly love to ask the company that. I'm sorry, it's a joke. Because it's not that we do less work. We do exactly the same, we do more work. And if we're going to be paid half for ground, so should we from now on just do half the work? I mean, it's really silly.
Yeah, exactly. If for annual leave, you can say maybe it's a leave, we don't have to work. But for the training, we really come to work.
Yeah,
There's
once
nothing
we
for that.
find it, we are
Why there's even
Yeah, it's
no hours
different
credit on
on
that?
the
So
flight.
we just keep pushing them that it's unreasonable that you ask us to come back to use our own time, but you don't have anything for us.
Exactly.
So maybe if you have any suggestion of how for prorated minimum for duty hours, credit hours, something like that, you have any suggestion, anytime you can just email us and then we will see if it's any possible and then we try to discuss with company. There's not only two options, not only credit hours or prorated minimum for duty hours, can be more and more options. But unfortunately, we only have 7 of us here. We cannot think about so many things. If you have any ideas, you just raise to us and we'll very welcome to receive any of your feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In addition, may I add some more on your questions? Actually, if you notice, we have so many like restaurants, focus groups, which is you do it for free. Okay, you have the choice not to attend those focus group, right? But for the AEQ and then CRD, it's mandatory by the company and by the CAG. So we did suggest to the company that, okay, you don't pay us for the focus group. What about the safety training? It's a must requirement. So, and they acknowledge our suggestion, so hopefully they will look into it. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's my turn now. Why are you leaving when I talk? Oh, guys, wake up! Oh, someone hold, please. You first.
I just wonder, I'm not sure if I missed something, but when you suggest to the company, did the company, aside from saying acknowledge, anything else?
For your information, you mean about the annual leave option?
Duty training.
We, as you said, as we said as well, we do mention about like options, transport subsidy for all. At least there's title for whatever it is. At least there's money. But they just know that they didn't guarantee anything. They just keep saying that as usual practice, they will keep looking into it. Unfortunately, that is their answer. So they didn't promise us whatever we suggested.
Their word is always
Because
taken.
Yeah, the reason is that this is all the AEUQ nowadays. Yeah, nowadays. It is safety related issue courses that we have to go for it because we need to get a license to fly, right? That's why it's related to our job nature. That's the reason though.
Right. But as I know, because if a crew being working for like secondment in the ISD department, they have their daily allowances as well. So
Yes.
do you tell them like?
Yes, we do. Thank you for that. We do bring up this example exactly because like they accrue as well, but they're going to the office at the same time, right? But they do get allowances which we don't. So meanwhile, that's why we bring up that please provide at least transport subsidy for whoever going to the courses because we are literally not living in CACP. But again, sorry to say, they said point taken. As usual, yeah. But yeah, that's the. I hope I answer your questions. Can I talk? Can I talk my part? Hi everyone, I'm Grace. Kind of take some time for you guys about 9 months, recent 9 months, half a year to 9 months about all our industrial action that we are doing from since second part of last year as business resuming. You guys, I'm sure you're flying that you know roster is getting impact, more high impact, and then the loading is kind of like every sector is full. So we are facing the NWIS one manpower short, less everything all comes together. That's why apart from our common practice, keep emailing them about what we are facing, we at the same time email ISD to request them to tackle all the problems we are having, especially regarding December. There's crew that roster being January, December, that being so weird, like arriving Hong Kong from Delhi at the same night going to Osaka, all these kind of crazy patterns. So we requested them to tackle it right away, to look into the inhumane roster, which, long story short, I'm not going to repeat it again because Millie and Ken have already mentioned everything. And then for around 1 week later, because we requested them to reply us within a week, to tackle everything within a week. So, however, they are not responding, which lead to 1st of December. A week later, we are having an open letter to Biden CEO, Mr. Augustus Tan, to expressing that all the hardship cabin crew have been facing. And the next day, a letter to CEO meeting launch, which giving you guys all the opportunity to tell us what you've been feeling to him as well. However, there's no response despite all the email and all the action we've been doing, which leaves us no choice but on December 6th, we are holding an EGM, Emergency General Meeting, which I'm sure some of you guys came. And then during the meeting, we got 100% support from all of you, including Proxy, that supporting FAU to escalate all the actions if ISD is not having positive response. Yeah, and then after the EGM launched and happened, we right away email ISDs, requested that we need to meet them because we do have all of your votes and then we need to talk to them, we need communication. Which lead to, 1 week later, December 14th, there's an impromptu meeting talking about all the issues, short layover, less manpower, blah, blah, blah. However, there's no consensus within our party and them. But they invite us to have an informal catch-up again, talk about, a week later, talk about February roster, which released on the 19th of December. So 20th of December, a few of us going to have an informal catch-up, talk about all the cruise roster, which we gather as many as we can, checking out all the problems, as you guys say, repeat the roster, all those and that, all this and that. But sadly, there's no consensus, there's no agreement. Again, which leads us, like 2 days later, we announced that Work to Rule campaign is going to implement it soon. There's no exact date, but we are pressing the button. And then 8 days later, December 30th, we are holding a press con to tell that, just want to express to everyone, not just insider, outside the Hong Kongers media, everyone that telling them what we've been facing since COVID, our hardship and how we want to support the company. However, as business resuming, we don't think there's a plan that they are trying to go through everything with us together. It's like we are shifting apart. We want the world to know that what has been going on and then what FAU has been facing, all the problems since we on board, like no bi-monthly meeting. There is no agreement, as you guys know, you just asked about the agreement, all this and that, and then telling them what possible consequences it's gonna have if we launch the Work to Rule as well. We hope that they understand our situation. We hope that they do get what we've been facing through, and that is for the press con. Are you guys still awake? I just want to check. Yes. Okay. And then back to this year, January 11th. We again during these 2 weeks, I let's be honest, that we've been trying to think about what else can we do. What it seems like we're hitting on the wall. There's nowhere to go. So let's say we say let's just try to maybe apply for holding an assembly, so that everyone can gather around and tell company what our voices, which it seems that they said they are listening, but I don't think so. Yeah. So we regarding that, we know the choices, the chances is low, but we still do applying the letter. However, I'm not sure if you guys know that without the venue, the approval, the consent of the venue that we are going there, which is CS City, outside the CS City, that the approval letter is not going to be given. So after considering all the possibility, the consequences, outcome, sadly we have to withdraw it. But we do hope that doing all this, we can get more noises or attention from everyone and Hong Kongers as well. That we are having like more and more hard, difficult situation, and we can see that it's not getting better. And then, which lead to 19th of January, like a week later, we sent in, 2 days ago, too many days. January 17th, we withdraw the request, and at the same time, we sent an open letter to Hong Kongers, telling them that we sadly have no choice but to announce work to rule, hoping that they understand that it may cause us a lot of consequences, such as delay or whatsoever. However, we really kind of being pushed to the corner, so we have to do it. We hope that they understand and our reasonable request and all this and that. 2 days later, finally, January 19th, work to rule is launched, and at the same time we send an open letter to our lovely airport staff and pilots as well, hoping to asking their support or at least understanding that why we are doing all this. I hope that they are facing a kind of similar situation though, so we hope that they do understand us and they do support us. As I said, at the same time, we're to rule launch until further notice. All these, above all the actions, our ultimate goal is to request the company to listen to us, listen to our reasonable concerns, create a better environment for it when we are cabin crew, but we also need to have a fair respect and dignity, all this and that combined together, because after all, we are human. We need all this to survive. To be honest with you, like after having here, all the actions seems to be insignificant. There is no impacts on its own. But I do believe that if we take it like consistently, collectively, there might be a chance that we can have some meaningful change. The world is getting hard, especially these days something happened. Be strong, be persistent. Let's try to hope to continue to work together and stay alive. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not finished yet. It's not. Sorry, wake up. It's not finished yet. Any questions? Okay.
So if there is no questions regarding work to work, we'll move on to the next topic. That will be the interim turnaround allowance. Brenda will talk about it.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brenda. I'm here to talk about interim turnaround special allowance. I'm sure you all know that in the past few months. Do you want to answer the call?
My phone is off. I have no idea what right.
I think in the past few months, we have received so many complaints from our members regarding being rostered for so many turnarounds or only turnaround in a month and without getting any allowance, like output allowance. And currently, actually, there are more than 50% of the sister flights are turnaround flights. That means you're not getting any less money than before, right? So we have raised up all your concerns and feedbacks to the ISD during our meetings and continuously, of course. And finally, the temporary special allowance, turnaround allowance, was introduced in February 2023. We expressed to the company that it would be more fair if this allowance should be offered to at a different rate proportionally according to the block hours, not with the ranking, right? However, the ISD explained that it was designed with the current salary structure and the responsibility of the respective ranks in mind. It is very disappointing to know that having the same amount of the allowance regardless of the flying hours is because it will be easier for them, for their back office to handle. Can you believe that? So this is not acceptable, right? So we also point out that providing a turnaround allowance is offered to incentive for cabin crew. This unattractive incentive, on the other hand, it also motivate our cabin crew to go for turnaround flights, right? Because for like BC, you get $300, and then Purser 350, SB 400, and ISM 450. And it's not really acceptable when you do a Taipei turnaround flight, you get the same money as you do it than Casa, even Sapporo. Actually, we raised up this concern to the company. So this is not acceptable. So they, of course, they point taken, they acknowledge it, but this we will continue to follow up with the company. And also our member also concerning with whether the allowance will be continued after August. Yeah, we also brought this up to the meeting, and it has been confirmed that this is going to be continued. It has been clarified that so the turnaround is most likely to be continued in place, and they will review it accordingly. Well, of course, we believe that the next exco will continue to follow up on this issue for our members in response to the new roster structure, and we hope the new exco to work with the ISB to find a better solution that is fair and acceptable for everyone. Do you have any question on this? So, any questions? You still happy with 300 bucks? 250? No.
You already mentioned
No,
that
you explained it very well,
yeah,
and you have, as I said, you all have brought it up to the company, you all have done your best.
Yeah,
So, yeah. I mean, in all the areas you all have done, we know you all are one of us, you have tried. So what to do, they're not listening.
Because our standpoint is like that should be paid according to the flying hours, you know, with like one amount for one flight.
Fully agree.
Yes. From Taipei to Hangzhou to
like LDA before and NTT.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why higher sick leave for those longer turnarounds. This is enough for them to know what's happening, but they.
I'm sure they know.
Yeah.
Sure they know.
Just
yeah, if you can see the sick leave on the 10,000 turnaround.
Bangalore turnaround.
Yeah, Bangalore turnaround. Okay. Any more questions on this issue? If not, then I will just continue to talk about the retirement age extension. Okay, I will continue. Okay, as you know, the first 5 years contract of the agreement is going to be expired at the end of this year. And during the meeting, we have suggested a few issues that need to be reviewed regarding this extension issue. Okay, the first one is the percentage of the reduced hourly rate for all ranks. And the second one is the percentage of the applicants who will be offered an extension if they are eligible for the October extension. Number 3 is the percentage of the applicants who will be offered an extension after they attending the activity day. Number 4, a review of the activity days arrangements. For example, the role play and the panel interview. Number 5 is to review the retirement age, like beyond 60 to 65. And number 6, they should provide more information on the UFP, CPP, and C transition. FAU has insisted on signing a new contract on this, but it was declined by the ISD because they say the operating environment is ever changing and the company must stay agile. Of course, as we expressed our concern about the cabin crew community, that we might not feel secure for not protected without any further agreement on this. However, ISD expressed that FAU concern and confirmed that the extension agreement will be continued under the employment policy for 2024 retirees will be continued as the current arrangement. And the assessment will continue to be based on the performance and the productivities. Two of us attend the focus group for this extension, retirement extension. We also give some share for feedbacks to the company, if we the transition periods of the USB PS score, and those who have taken a long unpaid leave. So how are they going to count the attendance? We also raised up if some of the applicants, if they did not perform well at the activity days, would they look into this individual case instead, to discuss in a panel interview? So any more questions on this? No? Then I will just continue. Okay, we also understand some of the members, they want to have the second extension. We did raise up to the company during our meeting, and they said right now they are focusing on the 2024 retiree first. At this stage, they have no proposal on this second extension, but yet ISD will remain all the options to all our cabin crew. We understand the retirement age extension is very important issue for many of our cabin crew, and we trust the next ESCO will continue to work with ISD to find the best solution for everyone. And we do welcome any feedback suggestions from our members on this issue. If you do have any suggestions or feedback, please contact us. Any more questions on this? No, then I'll give back to Vicky. Thank you.
So this will be the end of our progress report. Do any one of you have any questions regarding any topics now? If no, then you will queue up. Now we will collect your lucky draw tickets. Thank you, Arthur. So just to remind you, the lucky draw ticket is only available for on-time attendees today for the AGM, and the results will be announced during the annual dinner tonight. Any of you going to the annual dinner tonight? Woohoo! Where's your costume? Where's your circus costume?
No costume, you're not entering. We are clowns anyway.
Don't say the truth out.
It's clowns make people happy, so we have clowns anyway.
You still have time to get your costume.
Use paint and nose red.
We have lipstick with drawn up. We can ask questions. What is that? Yeah, also running this, say let's let you know.
We give the
Have everyone put in the lucky draw ticket? Don't keep it with yourself, you won't be able to get it. So we are waiting for one more member who is in the toilet now. Or we can be on.
Other than virtual rule, we'll consider other actions.
To be honest with you, not right now, because a lot have to be considered. We have like few thousands of members. We have to consider all the actions, consequences, and we will try our best to protect our members. That's why it's not an easy choice regarding whatsoever action we are going to take next. But again, everything is like, I always repeat this, everything is under our consideration. Oh my God, that sounds like CSI. Points noted, points taken. Yeah, but yeah, as long as we are still working for FAU, we will keep thinking about this. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, though. I know. Everyone is frustrated. Everyone is trying to sort for a way out, but it's not easy. So I do hope that there's something more to be done, but we need to look into it. But thank you for raising that. Yeah. Where's the toilet? Okay. Are we all here? With all the...
I'm going to get put the lucky draw ticket. Does it sound right?
Okay. Look at that! Oh, sorry, not you!
Do you have lucky draw ticket?
Sorry, you're not the leader.
She thought she won the lucky draw.
It's her fault. Okay.
Sorry.
So sweet. Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item. So agenda 6, the updates from Hong Kong Cabin Crew Federation. Ken will provide the updates for us.
Last year, we have already mentioned that Hong Kong Cabin Crew Federation, the HKCCF, is under the progress of dismissal. So 1 year later, there's still some documents still required to submit to some relevant department. So they're still under the progress of dismissal. So if there's any updates, we'll let you know as soon as possible.
If there's no questions about HKCCF, we'll move on to the last agenda item. Agenda 7, to update the progress of the election of Executive Committee for the term 2023 to 2025. So we'll have our subcommittee, Arthur, Roseanne, and Kareem to talk about it. Sorry.
Roxanne, this is Karin, and Alpha. We are the sub-company last week. And this, as you can see, this is a ExCo election timeline of this year. So we can start sending email on the 18th of February 2022. So we have extended for 2 times, and we are still waiting for the members to come up and set up for FAU.
So the next round, because we have to suspend the nomination period for our AGM, it was supposed to be voted, the voting period was supposed to be end if someone showed up earlier, and today was supposed to be the last day for the round that we announced before. So we suspended for the AGM. After the AGM, starting from May 29th, we will start another round of nomination, and I saw that a lot of you have very good input, and as we all know from news on the recent days, we are going through a lot right now. So if you are interested, or if you have any more idea about the upcoming for the upcoming ExCos, or you want to be ExCo, please feel free to contact us, contact the current ExCo members, or go directly up to the office and tell our office staff that you're interested. And we would greatly appreciate the next set of ExCo to come up for the election. And hopefully we will get enough people for our next round, and then will help us to fight for what we're supposed to get for the next 2 years.
Is there any question on the progress? Thank you. So, apart from the progress of the election, so we just want to update you guys about the operation after this AGM. So our terms should be finished after the AGM. So after that, we will be acting ExCo, and then we will just do some minimum operation for the FAU. So some of the service, including some of the inquiries and also the telephone hotlines for 24 hours, it will not active for this period of time until there's another team of ExCo is formed and being elected. Just want to let you know about what is going on later on FAU operations. Is there any question on that?
So we'd like to say thank you so much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very going there and doing that. So special. Big round of applause. Big round of applause.
This will be the end of our AGM 2023. I will now announce the time. And sorry.
Sorry, yes. We actually, all of us would like to propose a motion of thanks to the committee.
Because going forward and being there has not been easy.
So it's an official proposal of thanks, because it's not been a very hard last 2 years, so that it's been really rough and tough, and you guys have been amazing.
I have to thank all of you coming as well. I know it's a tough, long day. How many hours will we be sitting here?
Don't come.
No, I'm just kidding. But in my heart, personally, big thank you for whoever coming up. I'm very sorry to disturb you while, are you all done, guys?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'll give you a French kiss later on. Yeah, because I just received the news that I need to update you guys, because regarding recent incidents that we've been encountering, there's a lot of media waiting downstairs in this hotel. So of course, whoever joining us annual dinner, I'm gonna stay, right? Or you want to sneak out to have a quick shopping, or whoever just leaving, just be careful, or you have other ways, secret to know. Yeah, but
I think better you dress as a clown before you go.
I think it's more outstanding. I don't know, but yeah, I have to let you guys know about this. So be cautious, be careful, especially I mean, regarding all the circumstances we are facing in this world. Stay there, stay strong. I love you guys.
So we just want to say thank you for being there and representing us. It's not easy taking that position. It's been the hardest time to communicate with the management, and thank you so much, because we know you're one of us and you're our voice. Thank you. A big, big round of applause.
Thank you all. Whoever staying tonight, let's try to have some fun. Get drunk.
I just want to say FAU belongs to every one of us, not just 7 of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're our voice.
Yeah. I think, if you are interested to be an expo, please step forward.
Thank you, Ken Chang, for leading the team and all.
As the Honorary Secretary and moderator today, I now announce the meeting to end at 5:02.
Okay, now is it?
Yeah, so if you're coming tonight, come join our pre-party at 6:30. Get your costumes now. No costume, no entry. Get ready.